Welcome to a brand new season of Industry Leaders. You'll meet people with real passion who through dedication and hard work became our industry leaders. They'll share their inspirational stories of resilience and hope as they advance their chosen industry. On this episode, we'll meet experts in franchising in a 100% Australian-owned company with over 270 service centres nationally. UltraTune's Sean Buckley shares his dream and explains how they've grown the company into the largest independent automotive car servicing and repairer in Australia. Plus much more. Industry Leaders, brought to you by Annex Media.
I'm the CEO of UltraTune Australia and its subsidiary companies. I'm the owner, the principal. UltraTune is a very varied company with 280 service centres around Australia, and we have our roadside and fleet care divisions on top of that, and our thoroughbred racing and our Ultra Hair Studios and a number of other subsidiary companies that I control. It all started in the 90s. UltraTune was a company that was in financial trouble. It had a lot of problems with head leases and dramas with their landlords and problems in the mix of work. And somehow I ended up acquiring a position in UltraTune, and then ultimately bought out the company in the late 90s. In those days we were probably turning over 30 to 40 million a year, had probably 70, 60 stores. And through that journey we opened new stores up, we just kept working, aiming high, got the right people ahead in the company to help me grow it. They shared my dream of having a large service centre that could provide customers with good repairs at a good price with good customer service. So as we grew, we suddenly had 150 stores and 200 stores and 280 stores. We service almost 480,000, 470,000 cars in the range there every year.
My role as the National Marketing Manager is to oversee and to help place the advertising around the country by dealing with our agencies in different capacities. I was already consulting to Sean, who I'd known for the best part of 15 years. He's been very good to myself and the family. I was in a role up in Queensland, which I wasn't that happy with. That particular position became redundant, so we just looked at that as an opportunity to come back down to Melbourne, and working in an area which I knew quite well, which was the altitude exposure to start with, was a motivator. I believe there's still a growth industry there, and then I landed in the marketing side of things with UltraTune, which was quite fortuitous for me. Well, there's been quite a significant expansion in the company over the last 5 or 6 years. We anticipate with changes that are currently afoot with the ACCC, whereby previously manufacturers have been able to quarantine their repair data. They will no longer be able to do that. It will be legislated against, which will mean independents such as UltraTune will then have access to that data. So we'll be able to service BMW and Mercedes, etc., far more effectively than what we currently can, which will mean that those manufacturers will end up probably retracting some of their after-sales service, and organisations such as UltraTune will probably grow over the next 4 to 5 years.
Now, with UltraTune, we do a roadside assistance service.
There's a number of ways in which a service can be booked or requested. If you know your local UltraTune, you can ring them directly, and a lot of people do that because they've been going to the same UltraTune for a decade or more. Alternatively, what we're finding is a really big growth area for us is online bookings and phone tap to book. So people look up UltraTune and come to our website on their mobile devices a lot of the time. So people will just tap on the mobile, The mobile will have located where you're calling from, and it'll then direct you to your closest UltraTune centre, or alternatively you can fill out an online questionnaire which will then be sent to the local UltraTune franchise, and that franchise will get back to the person directly.
I'm a person who doesn't look backwards, I always look forward. I actually don't even live in the moment, I live for the future. I've always done that. I just walked into my boardroom here and I haven't been here for a while, I don't normally come in here. A lot of nostalgia in here, a lot of history, and it's sort of trophies and things that have happened. It's been a long journey, and we're quite a large company and quite a big organisation. Sometimes myself I wonder how I got so big and how it got so complex and how my life sort of went from just working with a couple of people in the office to suddenly having staff everywhere and having all this responsibility. It's a tough job. It's a hard business, but it's a good business, and it's a good thing that we can help customers save money, and I'm proud of what I've achieved.
Ahead on Industry Leaders, more about the automotive servicing and roadside assist company that began in 1979 as UltraTune's Sean Buckley and Rodney Sodaro reflect on the one constant, change, plus the controversial rubber goods and celebrity TV ads.
Well, car servicing's changed, the cars have changed, the people have changed, technology's changed. The old days, they had to fix things with wrenches and spanners and all that sort of stuff. These days, you put a computer on there with diagnostics and you fix a car. It's a big difference. Marketing's changed. I mean, in the old days, you just plonk on a TV show or go on the back of Herald Sun or The Age or some newspaper and you get cars. These days the market's so fragmented. I mean, there's hundreds of TV stations, each give you a little bit of share of the market. Newspapers aren't really read, it's now more social media driven. So it's very hard to build a brand these days. It's a more complex dynamic to do that.
So Sean decided to be a little bit politically incorrect and to try and create some controversy. So the Rubber Girls were born back in probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. We're into Rubber campaign. We always launch the campaigns around at the same time as the Australian Open.
I featured in the series of Rubber Girl TV ads, which were very controversial. There was a lot of complaints and there was a lot of attention to the ad.
I'd have to agree with Laura, it is very controversial, but I think that's the whole point of the ads. Like, no other ads that come out are talked about as much as the UltraTune ones, and that's what sticks in people's minds, and it's always coming up on the banned list and on the project for just random things that people like to pick up.
It's designed to attract the younger market, but it's designed to disrupt and create controversy. I didn't always think it was going to create that sort of controversy in some of the groups that were involved with it, but it just did.
It was very successful. Everyone hears about all the complaints, etc., that were made. That particular advertisement was viewed over 5 million times. We had 144 complaints. So that's to put into perspective. So it's like 0.00002% of the population that complained about it.
I feel good about it. I feel like any publicity is good publicity. So if you go under the radar unnoticed, it's like you didn't really do the job. So it's good. It's good. All the complaints actually help us.
I can remember the old days, you'd have a car mechanic on TV saying, come to us, we'll give you the best price and the best service. People aren't going to buy that rubbish. People are desensitised to that. You've got to have a different gimmick or a different type of angle to attract people. One night we were sitting around and I found across this ad called The Trunk Monkey. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not. It's a series of 20 ads about a monkey that saves a day. Okay, and the monkey, for example, someone tries to rob someone and the monkey comes out with a spanner and knocks them on the head. And it was totally irrelevant to car buying. Okay, it was from America, of course. So I thought, I didn't want to copy them and do what they did. So I thought, what could we do that could get attention in the younger market, be relevant, and build our profile up in that 21 to 40 market segment. At the time I was dating and I was engaged to one of the stars in the ad, it's Laura.
It was pretty exciting. We were engaged for a few years and then it didn't really work out at the moment, but we're best friends and we still love each other.
I kept thinking about it and I said, what about a couple of girls driving who have all sorts of problems with their car, and roadside assist and UltraTune helped them. So we ran the commercials, and the first couple made the most complaints ever in history in the Complaints Bureau. Complaints, death threats, we used to get terrible mail. All because a couple of girls drive off a cliff and get rescued by a helicopter. Oh, this is a problem. I think it's funny. So we just started going along with this thing, and we started, our car numbers went up and our sales went up. And I said, let's put a bit of spice into it. Let's put Van Damme in it. Then I'm a big boxing fan, and I'd met Mike Tyson years ago, and we rang him up, and he said, I'd love to do it. So we got him on board. So this year then we said, well, who else can we get who's got to cut through? Charlie Sheen. And we've got a great ad for him.
It's a company that just, there's no limits to it. And the fact that they got Charlie Sheen, Mike Tyson, Jean-Claude Van Damme in an ad, to me, that means they dare to dream, because there's no Australian-owned companies that I could see that have superstars like that in ads. And it's an exciting, productive, A1 company. That's why I see it there. They strive for excellence, they're good people.
UltraTune was positioned by the CanStar for 2 years running, 2016-2017, as the most trusted after-sales independent servicer in the country. So our relationship is excellent with our clients. We also have a Trustpilot rating of over 9.5 out of 10 from over 4,000 reviews on Trustpilot.
Still to come on Industry Leaders, an emotional Sean Buckley shares his personal success story from shelf packer to owner of UltraTune, including all the highs and lows of building his company into an Australian icon.
First thing was I graduated from university in 1984 from Chisholm. I did a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing and partly psychology as well. I paid my way through school. I used to fill the supermarket shelves of Woolworths in Glen Waverley, where I used to work probably 4 nights a week to pay the bills to go to school. So I worked there for about 3 years, and we opened up some ice creams, and they got me involved in this ice cream division. In those days, the Haagen-Dazs ice cream and those sort of brands of ice cream that are there now weren't around then, and I developed them with them, and we had an ice cream factory there. And then I got bored, and I started making a lot of money in the stock market. So I left to just work with other companies, but my hobby was stock market. Every night I'd go home and play stock market. And then I lost everything. And the stock market crashed in '87. And then I went overseas and worked in Hong Kong, and then I went to India and Pakistan to work there, running a food factory as marketing director. Overall, the whole period, about 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I liked it, but it was boring. I had nothing to do. Gave that up and I came back to Australia. My dad was doing some consulting work for UltraTune, and then they got me to work there as marketing manager, then general manager for a while, and the company was in a terrible financial mess. It was a nightmare in '93, and they couldn't pay their bills, and we had debt collectors coming to our doors, and people hiding under desks, and we're scared to answer because people had all this money. And pretty funny period. And anyway, so I went on the market for sale, and my fiance at the time bought it, and then ultimately she sold to me a couple of years later.
We basically became friends through our love of cricket. We were both going to be Test cricketers and play for Australia. Didn't work out too well for me. Late 70s to the early 80s is where we really developed our friendships. Probably from the mid-20s we drifted apart. And then one day my daughter had a cut, so we had to go to Cabrini Hospital. And walking down the corridor, someone goes, "Dave Fisher." And I go, "Who are you?" "Sean Buckley." I'm going, "Wow, what are you up to?" He said, "I own UltraTune." I said, "What, you've bought a service station?" Thinking he'd bought one, and you're very happy for your friends if they do well. He said, "Oh no, I own the whole lot." And I've gone, "Wow, that is tremendous."
Sean Buckley is a guy, he reminds me of Willy Wonka from the Chocolate Factory. When you get that opportunity to work with Sean, you give him your goal and he can make your dreams come true if it's viable. It's just an exciting time to be around someone like Sean Buckley because he does make dreams come true. I've known Sean for over 15 years and we've been involved in events and sporting events and other areas, and it's been a great ride, and hopefully we can keep going with that. Sean's a great guy and he's always supportive.
His personality is a lot of fun, very creative, motivated and highly successful.
It's wild when you talk to Sean, like he's so incredibly intelligent, and just the ideas that he comes up with and the way he thinks about things, it's almost hard to sort of like talk to him about it because I'm not on that level.
When Sean bought UltraTune, there was about 60 to 70 stores. Now there's over 270 stores nationwide.
The only advice I can give is don't play Monopoly with him. That's a friend breaker or whatever. That was quite interesting nights playing Monopoly. That got quite wild at sometimes, but I suppose that shows the determination to win and to be strong.
I just want to be successful and do the best I can for the car industry. And it really agitates me and gets me upset that I see so many people that are conned by these car dealers who I think are just, crooks. I can't say it in a nicer way, okay? And I see it all the time, and I don't like it, and I don't think it's fair. But probably the best lesson was when I lost my money in the 80s. I lost everything, and it was a terrible time. And I think now I wear it as a badge of honour because it made me smarter, tougher. And I remember my dad telling me before he died, he said, don't be ashamed that you've lost everything, because I know you're talented and one day you'll be successful because you've got that drive in you. And he was right. It's just unfortunate he never saw it.
Stay tuned to Industry Leaders as UltraTune's visionary CEO, Sean Buckley, opens up about his father's precious advice on work ethic and honesty, plus Sean's mission statement to franchisees and customers and the future of the company.
Well, my dad was a guy who was a very hard worker. He instilled hard work in me, and he worked at Gillette for all his life, and he progressed up the tree at Gillette, and he was like a public relations manager and director for them, and he did a lot of government work with the company, and he was a good man. He was honest. He was a hard worker, and he was my best friend. And he always said to me he thought I'd be successful, but he said I had to rein in my aggression. When I was young, I was very aggressive, and I always push things to the limit in terms of the line in the sand where I should go. But my dad died in late '95. He never actually saw me be successful, and that brings me a lot of heartbreak to see that. He never saw it. But I think about him every day, still.
UltraTune is predominantly a car servicing. It's the leader in the aftermarket car servicing area, but we also do roadside assist, we do ultra tyres, so there's a plethora of different automotive services that we do offer the consumer. UltraTune Roadside Assist, we offer free roadside assist to our customers, so if you're an UltraTune customer, you get 12-month free roadside assistance, which allows you to, if you've got a problem, you basically call our roadside assist number or use our app, and one of our vans will come to you and they'll transport you back to the closest UltraTune to rectify any problems. Alternatively, just like any other roadside assistance program, we've got different tiers there. So you could ring up UltraTune, or you could engage online with us, and we could say you a higher level assistance program if you wanted.
Our mission is very simple, really. We want to fix people's cars. We want to do it as cheap as they can get for them. We have an anti-dealer philosophy. You can bell and whistle anything you like, that dealers rip customers off. Even the warranty things we see, they give warranty. You go in there for a warranty and somehow you walk out paying $2,000. It's set up that way on the sales courses we see and what they do. And we know what they do. We hire dealers to come in, they buy our UltraTune franchises, and we have to retrain them about not ripping customers off. It's ingrained in their mentality. I'd like to think that my company has that ethos where we understand the common people who are out there trying to save money on car servicing, and then we can help them by getting their car serviced cheaper, and we mean that. UltraTune opening 200 stores was a milestone for me. I'd driven for that for a long time. Getting the ACCC hearings last December in order for them to change the way that the car dealers control data in the country, I think that was a milestone. I think that's really good for people in the market, the customers, who will stop this price gouging and stop them being robbed. We compiled a report of 600 horror stories of people being robbed, and it took one of our girls here who works for me, helped me do it, and we gave that submissions to the ACCC. I felt good for a lot of success stories in my company. A lot of people have made a lot of money out of UltraTune. I've made a lot of money, but think about me, franchisees, okay? We've created a lot of wealth for a lot of people, and I'm proud of that. I opened up overseas in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. That was very proud to do that. I ended up selling out and cashing out of that. They wanted to take 100% control. I was happy to sell it to them for a bit of money. So I was happy with that, but I was proud that I went over there and did that.
UltraTune's a great company. I've got many experiences, but probably Randy Peddle-Corrin recently now been asked to fight for a world title is a big highlight because UltraTune got him through as a young kid that we sponsored through from the Philippines, and he's fought in Australia the last 4 or 5 years, and now he's actually making a big time and fighting for a world title.
It's here for the long term. It's been around for over 30 years. It's growing at a rate of knots, and we anticipate that with the changes with the ACCC legislation, UltraTune will become even bigger than what it currently is.
The company didn't have financial problems in those days. I would never have had the chance of getting involved. In some things in life, you get the right break and the right luck, and you take it. The question is, can you take the luck you have to get something and make it successful? I must say I was lucky, but I have driven the business to a spot that probably no one really thought we'd get to in the last 20 years.